We have got another movie, which is more pointless than the first one, except it has a horseback riding scene, and some weird squirrel comes back once more. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Rider Time Archive. Happy Monday. Happy belated Father's Day to everyone.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
How's the weather for everyone?
Horrible. It's freaking horrible. I don't have to tell you that, but you know it's horrible.
Yeah, this week is not a good one. And hopefully it's just one of those, it's only for the week type thing, but I'm not holding my breath. I don't want to turn on the air conditioning just yet.
Oh, absolutely. Because, I went to a football game yesterday.
Wait,
in the middle of the afternoon.
American or world?
Like football. It was Paris versus Madrid.
All right. The actual game.
Yeah, football. Not like how Austin Powers says English.
Not that American watered down rugby, like watered down rugby stuff.
Safe rugby. It's Paris 1-4-0. Congratulations, Paris. The third goal is probably my favorite one.
And your monkeys, at least you're good at something.
Yeah, the dude straight up rider kicked that ball into the goal. It's like watching the Kamen football movie in real life.
Mm-mm-mm.
It was beautiful. Perfect. Every last minute moment, except for the part where you have to wait 45 minutes in concessions to get a 20-ounce bottle of water. But at least I didn't miss a thing. But no, we're not here to talk about football because the football goes on forever. We're here to talk about Kamen Rider, the movie. Kamen Rider versus Ambassador Hell. It's the second of two films back in the Showa era. The third movie in this series is all the way in 2016.
Well, there is another film, but it's a recap of episodes.
That's weird.
Which is why on earth? Well, it's kind of this. I mean, it's not a strange thing that Japan does that. They call them movies when they're actually look at the most famous examples are the three original Gundam movies. They said they were movies, but then you watch them and wait, this is a recap, literally a recap of the first series. It's
the first 30. It's the original 39 episode run of Mobile Suit Gundam compressed into 3 films.
Yeah, and it's whoa, what the heck is this? I'm this is kind of if you want to know the show, but without actually sitting down and watching it. It's kind of just watch this a good 3 hours of footage. This is basically what you need to know. And it's then why call? I mean, the only movie that they had was Char's Counterattack, which even then
which Leo finished watching, by the way,
which is kind of questionable at most because I'm Char, I really like you, Char. You're a really good, awesome character, but
why are you dropping a colony?
No. The colony was not the problem. That had already been done. I'm talking about it wasn't, but you can call it kind of the obsessive fangirl moment that happened in the movie that kind of was why? What?
Yeah.
But again, could be questionable. But again, it was the late 70s, around the 80s. So, But we have an actual movie, which is only 30 minutes, which apparently was a part, just like the last film, part of a summer movie program that they promoted in Japan.
Yes, and this would become the precursor to the obligatory summer films in Kamen Rider.
This is the summer film. The summer film.
Mm-hmm. Yes. The
The-
obligatory episode 37 and 38 thing. That would happen.
The Toei Manga Festival
Mm-hmm.
is where the Kamen Rider. Well, the first one, the Kamen Rider versus Shocker, was premiered,
Mm-hmm.
and then the next summer came out this movie, Kamen Rider versus Ambassador Hell.
Yeah.
Again, it was paired up with something. Let me see here. What was it paired up with?
It was definitely an anime, so I wouldn't be surprised it was some Doraemon movie or Anpan Man or something.
It was a space anime.
Ooh.
I can't really. No, I don't know. They just said it was a sci-fi space anime, super popular at the time, and I'm like,
Well,
what was that? Harlock? Was that?
Was it Harlock?
I don't know.
Arcadia of My Youth.
Maybe
Space Trade 999. It definitely wasn't. It definitely wasn't Space Firebird 2772 because that movie came out in 1980. And I doubt it was a Phantom Flying Ghost Ship because, as appropriate as it is, the movie is from the 60s, so I don't know why they would do a replay of it. But hey, at least we don't have to worry about.
Not with the boa juice. Here it is. Okay, I found it. Liner 0011.
Interesting.
So it was at this time, from what sources are telling me here, it was a show that was inspired by the Kamen Rider, but it was a show about space travel and fighting space aliens.
Interesting. So basically, it's a Metroid.
Yeah. So basically, I mean, you could kind of say that this also. I mean, again, when people want to say that tokusatsu and anime are not connected, it is historic here that around this time, that when the Kamen Rider's popularity, many shows were taking cues from the Kamen Rider in terms of like their theming and what they were doing. A lot of younger characters, younger male and female characters, were fighting off like spy shows and space shows, and sci-fi was actually taking off, which is actually true. This was the time that in Japan, the Godzilla movies were technically like at that point in the middle of like we're at the just right, your King Ghidorahs, your Rodans and your Mothras, Godzilla versus Mothra, and but not as far as like Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2, where they were just like, okay, stop. That didn't happen until a couple of years later. This was at the prime time of just like sci-fi had taken over Japan and then some, because you also had shows that came on like Massinger, the Super Robos were actually coming out at the time. And in fact, this was also around the time that the creator of Gundam decided to create Gundam because of the oversaturation of super crazy sci-fi shows that were happening at the time. So if it was not for the Kamen Rider causing this boom, we wouldn't have some of the most iconic franchises that we would have later on in life. Hell, we wouldn't even have Gunpla.
Yep.
So stuck on that.
Yeah. So to preface, before we go into the actual episode, this movie takes place between episodes 68 and 69. So Emmy and Toko are still around for this movie. For those of you who are watching this in playlist mode, we accidentally skipped over the movie and went into episode 70 through 79 beforehand because we incorrectly assumed the movie's going to take place after the arc was finally completely over for real. But that's not the case. So if we
Sure,
sound,
but
so if at any point we sound like we're mentioning stuff from the next 10 episodes, that's because we did already watch the next 10 episodes. And if you watch episodes 70 through 74 and wondering like why is something mentioned from this movie, well, for one, the movie is not really consequential to the plot now, is it? So yeah.
not really, but of course it is mentioned here in my notes that this movie was based off of an event that happened in the official Kamen Rider manga. In fact, this was the last part of the official manga. Like this was the end.
Yes, chapter 6.
Yeah, this was the end game for the Kamen Rider manga. So it is proper that we would do it towards the end, but they kind of stuck it in the middle of where we're at, which again, I'm not ragging on the production here, but I'm just kind of like, yeah,
Why?
this whole show should have wrapped up a long time ago. We should have.
By this point, the manga has already ended. The manga started like if I recall, March or April of 1972, but it ended around June the same time, or maybe like a little bit later. But the point is, like by this point in the TV show, we're way past the publication of all 6 chapters of Kamen Rider. And again, I do find it interesting that look at that. Ruriko Midorikawa is still in the plot, in the manga, even though she isn't in the TV show.
Yeah, well, the TV show took a lot of liberties because hell, well, we don't have a Goro, we don't have a Mari, Yuri, Michi, nobody. It's only Ruriko throughout the whole series. And of course, I'm like, well, see, this is where Tokusatsu and anime differ, people. Like if the manga was over, okay, that's it, no more. We're done. There's nothing to go based off of. Where Toko is like, no, we can still
let's keep milking it. Power Rangers ended in 1995. Well, we're still gonna make new content in 2025. So,
which the Japanese just clearly accepted. I mean, it's kind of bonkers how like so many people say like, oh, especially during the 90s and the early 2000s, there was no season 2. There was no like continuation of an anime series. It was either popular enough that it kept going, or it stopped. It's over. It's done. There was no season 2. There was no remake or anything like nowadays. And so, but with Toko, well, as we're gonna see, we're gonna, especially in this show, they love bringing back old suits. And why not? You spent so much money on them. It's best to get your money's worth, obviously.
They have like a 5 to 7 year shelf life, so of course you're gonna reuse them.
Yeah, you're gonna reuse suits, obviously. I mean, look at Ultraman. I could point out how many of those were actual Godzilla kaijin, all the way up to like I believe all the way up to Ultraman Jack that they were using, because they have a very long shelf life, and why not the kaijin themselves? Yeah, so obviously, again, this should have been like at least by 60 point, and then they would have done this movie, and then that would have been it. But no,
we still have the great leader to deal with and Dr. Shinigami. So
we still got what was it called? It was called Gill Shocker now. The
Gill Shocker,
the rebranding, the random rebranding that they decided to do.
Yep.
I'm like, yeah. Oh god, I can only imagine what the idea was for that, or like why their whole. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, so let's get started with this movie.
Yeah, we start off with a motocross race with Takashi and Taki representing the Tachibana Race Club. But of course, much like in Power Rangers Dino Fury, our heroes get attacked midway through the obstacle course by, ironically, a sign that's pointing in the wrong direction, followed by being bombed from a helicopter.
What is this, a Looney Tunes show? It's like erase the white line and then paint it the other way. It's like, yeah, no, do not mind the paved path. No, we're going on the bumpy. I know you're on motocross bikes, which they can take it, but just wow. Wow, that's some Bugs Bunny. That's some like Wile E. Coyote level shenanigans chasing the Roadrunner. But again, it's like, yeah, it goes from comedical to, yeah, they're being bombarded by shocker grunts in the helicopter.
Yeah.
Okay, did the shocker grunts finally decide to be a threat in this movie?
Yes.
You know, like,
or so you think.
I'm tired of those damn kaijins. They're taking their jobs. We got to do something.
Yeah. And of course, what did Takashi do? And Taki? They go out for tacos, which is code for we're going to briskly walk into the Shocker secret base.
No, they're in Japan, dude. It would be takoyakis.
Yeah. Taco Tuesday.
Yep. So again, the old tried and true method of beating up some random grunt and taking his uniform and leaving him in his skibbies out in the middle of nature.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because that's the thing you do. That's just I mean, at this point, Takashi is it's oh god. Takashi, but also why did I forget his name? Why am I spacing on his name? Yeah, why they're so used to like taking uniforms. They should just have a closet full of them at this point.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But naturally it's a trap because Ambassador Hell locks all the doors and all the windows, pretends to gas them a bit, and then plays a video, video feed of himself, revealing, it's like, oh, this whole thing was just one giant trap. And I'm like, you're seriously gonna tell him your entire plan?
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Like, for real though, it's like, haven't you figured out that like by telling him what you're doing, you're going to like lose? And like, even take the whole like blow the whole base 30 seconds idea. Like, let's say that works. Why would you tell him it's gonna blow up in 30 seconds? Why not leave that as a surprise? Just stall him out. Just talk for 30 seconds nonstop. It's not that very difficult. In fact, anyone can do it. And while everyone's completely distracted from watching you talk, they are completely unawares that you are actually counting down the timer for the bomb to go off. And then we'll see who's truly laughing now. It won't be the Riders, that's for sure. It'll be Ambassador Hell.
That's because Ambassador Hell just has like an on and off case of Alzheimer's. Like, he just rambles and goes on. I mean, that's kind of the thing that most villains did. That was just the thing that they. It's kind of sad in a way because it's a trope that continues on to this day. But they've kind of
but you see how I use power of rambling as a strength instead of weakness.
In American and Eastern all over, they've kind of removed that because it's like, okay, no one would ever start rambling about their plan and like this and this and that, and that I have placed a laser on top of Mount Fuji, just like at the, again, I built it, but I didn't build it on a plateau. I built it on a plateau, but it's more towards the end of the plateau. for some reason. So an easily an explosion, small or minor, or even the smallest vibration could actually knock it over if you wanted to. Why would you tell them that? Why would you say that? Why are you telling them that, exactly what you said? It's like, that the base is going to blow up and they only got 30 seconds. Why 30 seconds? Why not now? Don't you have a button to just explode the base?
And again, even if it took 30 seconds for the transmission to be complete, again, you can use the power of rambling to your advantage by simply not saying that one very specific detail and pretend that you're just monologuing like Syndrome from The Incredibles.
How many characters in this era and even now do the monologue thing, and it's like, why did you say that? Why? And it's always like, Megatron, Cobra Commander, Rita, Lord Zed, any villain you could probably think of, they have all done it. They have all said it, and
at least between Hagrid from Harry Potter and Hercules from King Oger, it became a running gag where one, Hagrid just simply could not keep his mouth shut to save his life.
Yeah,
and while Hercules, it's like the royal family of Tofu just happened to be that charismatic that Hercules involuntarily reveals his secret plans to them, whether he wants to or not.
Well, at least Hagrid kind of like, oh, I take it back. I'm like, too late.
What? I wasn't supposed to say that.
Yeah, like, I take it back. Like, yeah. But when you have the villain, the main villain of your series, or at this point, of this story, always like, calling his grunt stupid, calling the Kaijin idiots for messing up his plan, but you're the one who's telling the plan.
Again, to quote Lord Zed, I did not fail. You failed. You've all failed, just like you failed before.
Again, it was. I mean, but well, it's kind of like, well, why the hell did you send this Kaijin or this monster to go do that when you had a perfectly good monster that was suited for the job over here? Why did you send the, I don't know, mutant armadillo with an ATM in the stomach to go, like, plant bombs around the city when you had a perfectly creative bomb monster over here that creates natural bombs and can set them off at any point in time and is stealthy?
Yeah. Or heck,
you're a dumbass. Fully 100%. But again, the villains, if villains were meant to be as it is, it's a trope in media that, more so in America, that villains are not meant to be villains. Like, they're the bad guys, but they're not supposed to be like horrible.
Good at their jobs.
Look at what they did to Zed in his appearance in the first 5 episodes, and then afterwards, it's like, we just got a
snake
male
into a staff.
We got a male version of Rita, pretty much.
Yeah.
But finally they kind of like, no, we can't do that, and that's kind of stupid. That's why I think the Machine Empire, even though kind of goofy itself, was a more bigger upgrade than those two.
Yeah, see, the Machine Empire wasn't so much goofy as much as they were petty, particularly Sprocket.
Oh yeah, no, but that was the whole thing, and then came Divatox and Astronema. And even like later on shows, they didn't make them goofballs. I'm like, oh yeah, they failed, but it's like,
but Astronema used detonators. She was a straight up terrorist.
Well,
sorry, not Astronema, Divatox. Divatox was a straight up terrorist.
Well, man,
she failed like so many times, and mostly because the issue was not so much with the plan as much as it was with the execution. Like, who puts a detonator inside a bucket of soap water?
Yeah. But let's see here. Where did we leave off? We're here at the. So Tachibana Motor Club gets invaded
again.
and
Yeah.
it's by a kaijin that we've already seen before, but not really.
More or less.
This is the first time we're actually supposed to be seeing him.
Yes, Kamakiri Kid or Mantis Kid. Yes, much like that boa juice monster. Like we have a monster that debuts in a movie, but then shows up as a random monster of the day in a later episode.
Yeah, and it wasn't a really good one either, if I remember right. We kind of just glossed over our Mantis Kid, like, whatever. You look stupid. But here, he's actually competent.
Yeah,
He's actually leading an entire like army's worth of kaijin, but starting off with like a precursor to the Beetleborgs. But a
yeah,
lot
because we got like 4 bug themed kaijin. And of course, Takashi's like, it's like, where's the light device? I won't tell you. Where is it? Okay, I'll tell you. It's in Mount Fuji. And of course, Kamakiri Kid's like, oh no, you didn't.
And it was the cockroach.
Yeah.
The cockroach.
And I can't help but wonder, why didn't you just blow him up before he revealed the location?
Also, Hongo, did you forget that Ambassador Hell had told you already where the weapon is? It just the cockroach just kind of confirmed you where it is. They said Mount Fuji.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the point? What's the point? I don't know. We just have to confirm that we're going to Mount Fuji. Okay.
Yeah. By the way, did you? By the way, I don't know if I told you this, but we're going to Mount Fuji. Did I mention Mount Fuji? Because Mount Fuji.
I'm like, I don't know, man. Mount Fuji. There's a lot of strange things that happen at Mount Fuji, and I'm not talking about the basin of the mountain. I'm talking about just in general.
Yeah.
A lot of crazy stuff on Mount Fuji if you're living in this sci-fi world here.
Yeah, like a anthropomorphic rhinoceros and Similodon chasing a bug man on a motorcycle.
There's again giant monsters that walk up there. Sightings of UFOs.
Sometimes either a monster or a railgun blows up Mount Fuji, only for it to inexplicably restore itself the next week.
For some reason, there's 2 giant robots at the base of the mountain, like shaking hands for some reason, but it's always got to be in front of Mount Fuji.
And for some reason, there's a waterfall with 2 ninjas pointing at each other.
Yeah, Mount Fuji's weird. A lot of strange stuff going on here. I'm like, I came up here for a nice hike, but no wonder people always like, yeah, they don't really live near Fuji. They're small villages, but they kind of keep to themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, so naturally, Kamen Rider takes on all the motorcycle riding baddies, but then one of the surviving bug dudes shows up on a horse.
A horse?
A horse. My shocker base for a horse.
Well, at least they're using their budget on this show, because no joke, the last movie we did was like, what budget did you guys have? It just seemed like this last movie could have been a like just an episode that you guys didn't put in the show. But yeah, we got horses in this show for all you equestrian fans out there.
Yep. Friendship is magic.
Except no. We're not going there. We're not.
No, you're right. Not until Wizard versus Forze.
Yeah. Then when we get to Wizard, we can pull out all the My Little Pony references we want. But no dissing on the pony fandom. I say howdy to all y'all. But well, in any fandom, there's always the ones that you're like,
That the one dude with the Cheeto powder on his fingertips.
Yeah.
You know who you are.
Yeah, you know who you are. I mean, you're also here in the Toko verse as well. Don't lie to me. Don't tell me you're not.
You know what is surprisingly a very smart thing? Using chopsticks to eat Cheetos.
I don't have them on hand most of the time.
Yeah.
I just kind of do the old school thing and just put the bag to my mouth type of thing.
Your mouth poured. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's like, yeah, so we get a crucified doll of Tachibana who is attached to a live action Yuri.
Yeah, so where's Emmy and everyone else? It's only Yuri and Tachibana.
It's almost as if that even in the movie with a budget, they're still useless characters, and we would much rather have Mari in the plot.
Well, yeah, no. If we had still had Mari, I mean, hell, even at this point, Goro was gone at this point, right?
Yep, Goro's gone.
Yeah. So again, not really a big, hey, let's just keep the main two who have been with us since episode 30. Let's keep them going. But
yeah, and like we don't even see the two kids who become the founding Rider Scouts.
Well, no, that wouldn't be later. But I'm just like, well, one kid is just probably like, they're kids. I don't know what kids in the 70s did besides go outside and play.
Yeah.
Yeah, but why would we need them? I mean, it's kind of a breath of fresh air at this point that we don't.
It's just Yuri and Tachibana.
It's not the entire cast of like a bunch of nobodies that ain't doing nothing. I'm kind of glad for that. I'm kind of like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
As much as I don't want to hate on the actors or actresses that are in this show, but I'm like, I blame the production and I blame writing because you guys don't give them anything to do.
Nope.
And in this movie, even less. It's like, again, Tachibana is here, Yuri's here, they get caught. Okay. Now what? Well, the horses. There are the horses.
Yeah.
And again, this wouldn't be a movie unless we reuse some old suits that from previous episodes that we just happen to have because we don't. Well, we made the one suit, which was Mantis Kid.
Yeah. So naturally, we go to the to Mount Fuji where we find the secret laboratory
of past rejects.
Yes. So we encounter at the base, at the heightened base, some of the returning villains of this film. And who are some of these returning villains? Well, it is none other than a couple faces we've seen. Like,
there's
including the one dude from the previous movie. Like, why is he here?
Yeah, the frog fish thingy guy.
Yeah. Yep.
We have, there's the worm guy.
Yeah. I'll list them off to you right now. We got Sea Snake Man. Oh, from the manga. Worm Man. Ray King. Ghost Star. Pteranodon.
Yeah.
Mushroom Org. Again. Zanjo. Spider-On. And oh no, it's him.
Destabilize their economy, refocus labor class outrage from upper to middle, foster a coup, and install a compliant regime.
Same as Guatemala?
Yes, but you can double time it.
We need a quorum to pick a new pope in case the Exxon Monsanto thing falls through in Africa.
Why not use chemtrails? Put a canopy on Uganda. They're set to agitate any What?
That kid is watching us.
So? We're squirrels. He's a kid.
He's watching us like he hears what we're saying.
Yeah.
Where's my gun?
Where's my dog?
It's the squirrel.
He's back. Which is ironic because my fiber optic cable was destroyed yesterday. I wonder who could have done that.
Those damn crackhead squirrels are at it again. Yeah. So apparently they all come back because that's what we have to. This is the 4th time, ladies and gentlemen. 4 times we've done this.
Yes.
Of returning kaijin monsters, which again, it's cool. It's great that I'm like, yeah, well, yeah. What do you do with the suits afterwards? You gotta use them. I mean, you paid so much to make them, but
and also keep it and also this time there are fewer monsters in the same scene than in the previous film.
Yeah. 4 times. 4 times. I mean, another one, and you get a free ice cream.
Yeah.
Which I'm pretty sure will happen. We might get a 5th one towards the end of this series.
Undoubtedly.
I want my free ice cream. But
yeah, as Chao Tzu would say, if I die a 3rd time, we get McDonald's.
Depending how hungry I am, it's either nuggies or a quarter pounder.
For me, it's nuggies all the way.
I swear, those nugs, they're like, ugh. Anyway, so yeah, we commence with the obligatory montage of the Kamen Rider fighting all the kaijin, but on Mount Fuji.
Yeah, and yeah, like obviously Takashi transforms to fight him off, while Taki goes in to destroy the base. And it goes just as well as you would expect for a bunch of the monsters. They go start rolling down the hill and inexplicably destroyed. Sometimes together. You get 2 of them just like hug each other, roll down the cliff, and then explode. It's like, at this point, you're basically made out of bomb paper from Naruto.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, and even what's face uses flaming hot boa juice. For real though, it's like, wouldn't that make more sense? Why not just make an entire lake of boa juice up on that mountain where it's well hidden underneath the snow, while from above use the spores from the mushroom dude in order to decompose Kamen Rider. Make some field-based traps and whatnot. Use real tactics. Did you learn nothing from Sun Tzu? I mean, Araki did. That's why he had AC/DC fight Joseph. Meanwhile, Taki just casually waltzes into the Mount Fuji base while they're preparing to destroy Tokyo Tower for some reason.
I've always noticed that if there's ever a world dominating era, plan, it always has to revolve around Tokyo Tower for some reason,
or Eiffel Tower, depending on where the movie came from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you're lucky, you might get Statue of Liberty, but it's still French, so it doesn't count.
But yeah,
yeah. So Taki fights on Comantus Kid, and but then Takashi intercepts. So, Takashi takes things outside while Taki destroys the machine. And yes, Taki straight up blows up the Shocker base. Taki blows up the Shocker base. With Ambassador Hell still inside it. Just kidding. He evacuates, but the point is, it's like, he could have killed Ambassador Hell.
Oh no, it's pretty much screw the plan. We got to leave. We got to go. I'm like, where's the income for Shocker coming from? I mean, how many bases have they blown up and destroyed, and how many death rays have they constructed that? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Cue the conversation between Dante and Randall about the second Death Star.
And of course, obviously, the Kamen Rider beats all the kaijin, beats up Mantis Kid, and possibly one of
the silliest sequences. They just straight up roll down the hill for a long time.
For a very long time. I don't think that was meant to be so long.
It's like you ever seen that Chris Farley clip?
Yeah, where he's rolling down the hill. Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically what we're looking at.
Everyone says that's my Monday, or this is my life. or like like whatever, like something about them personally. That meme is used, which bless you, Farley, you were taken away from us too soon.
Yeah. Yeah, and so then, he does a rider kick, which, by the way, you might notice a lot of the camera footage is very blurry for some reason.
I think they spliced in the rider. I don't think they actually did it. Because the footage you could tell is like from because obviously when they do these films they use a better type of filming than they would for the TV show.
Yeah.
So I think that they didn't even bother, they just put in a generic rider kick, and then cut to us throwing the rag doll of Mantis Kid over the edge, and then again the editing is super choppy that you could tell. Wait, he landed here, but the explosion happened just a couple of feet this way. Yeah. So I don't even think they didn't even film a rider kick in this movie. Because it is rather blurry at times. I'm like, the film is different. The film here is very different.
Yeah, and then as soon as he rider kicks him, the entire movie just abruptly ends.
Credits, because hey, cut it. We got only 30 some odd minutes, so we can't untie Tachibana. We can't wrap things up. We didn't even know who won the race.
Yeah, was there supposed to be a race in this movie?
You didn't even say what happened to everyone else. Where are they? What happened? No, and that's it. We're done. We're done. Yeah. We got to go to the next film in the summer festival. I'm like,
yep.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Thoughts on this movie?
What could be said? What could honestly be said about it? I mean, it could have been just another episode.
Yeah.
It could have been just another episode.
If you were clever, you could combine these two movies and then cut them all over again to make a 3-part episode that involves these two particular kaijin.
Yeah, no, but because again, you had the kaijin from the first movie come back, and then we had him come back in another montage again.
Yeah.
So it's not like he was exclusive just to the movie. They really used the money on this suit. Or really, they did.
Yeah.
It's not the fact that Takashi, that Hongo or Taki were they're just trying to stop the evil bad guys from doing what they need to do.
Yep.
And yeah, what was Shocker's plan at this point? Oh, we have a death ray. What are you gonna do with the death ray?
Nothing.
We never really thought of it. We just kind of wanted to show it off. It's a very nice death ray, but what are you gonna do with it? I mean, are you gonna blow up a nearby city?
We are a secret club because of our agenda.
I'm like, what exactly are you trying to do with said death ray?
Mm-hmm.
We're not really focusing on I'm going to blow up Tokyo Tower. I'm going to blow up Japanese Parliament. I'm like, no, we just got a death ray.
Yeah, and for that reason,
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you
we don't care.
Yeah.
I will say probably for the children who were really big into Kamen Rider, which again, it was established that it is a thing. Mm-hmm. To them, they were just it's another one of those films that there's no actual story. It's just an adventure with the Kamen Rider and a lot of fighting, which okay.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention, I'm like, did they ever think that? Back then, movies and films were just kind of like a thing. You didn't have like, hell, videos and all that shit weren't even a thing until like the late 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So when you saw a movie, it was just a movie. You know, no one actually thought that you would be able to take home the movie, and have it in your home so you can watch it. That's why even now, a lot of, some people have said that's why a lot of movies like that predate the 80s, they were just like, they were just entertainment. There was no story, there was no saga, there was no franchises. But then you go back and you watch and you're like, was that even a movie?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. It kills a half hour.
Yeah, it killed half an hour.
It killed half an hour. So
yeah, it's like this. Did not watching the movie affect your ability to watch episodes 70 through 79?
You know what? You could seriously watch this movie either at the end, at the beginning, whatever. Like, it really didn't affect anything. In all honesty, I couldn't even tell you, like, wait, this could have just been an episode that we had already seen before.
Yeah, like, and again, like, the only reason that it quote unquote matters that this movie take place between episode 68 and 69 is just the fact that Emmy and Toko are still there, and while Choco and Yoko aren't. That's the difference. That's the one singular difference. That's episode 69. It's very purgatorial in that regard. But yeah, no, it's like the only issue with watching the movie after the fact is, Ambassador Hell is still around and Emmy and Toko are still around, but Choco and Yoko are not. But like, again, it's like there's no send-off for Emmy or Toko. There's no send-off for Goro. At least he got a focus episode. There's more than I could say for a lot of the other characters like Michi and Mari. And Mari definitely deserved better. Like we have no idea why Ruriko never came back. Shiro was a useless character, so let's be honest, we don't miss him.
Well, I mean, the characters be as they are. I mean,
yeah,
like, that wouldn't happen in today, obviously, because with the characters that they established, they are part of the story. Here, it was just kind of like a revolving door. I mean, people left and came, and it depends. Some people left to further their careers. Some people just left.
Oh, absolutely.
So I mean, is it really I mean, you can't really. Again, and as we said, Kamen Rider, the original series, is more of an episodic type of thing where the story takes place within the 30 minutes you're watching it.
Yep.
There is a story we must beat Grand Leader. We have to, but that's it. Every other show, you could have watched episode 1 and then come back to 60, 70 and not like, wait, what happened? Because everything is just contained in its own episode.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really, one of those shows that, wait, what happened? Yeah, you don't even remember Ruriko, I bet you. But there's Yuri, there's Choco and Yoko. Which, okay.
Yeah. That's
just what it was. I mean, not to mention this was a very long production. So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well.
Yeah, this movie is a 7 for me. Like, I appreciate trying to do some cinematic things like the horseback scene, but again,
if they had put the Kamen Rider on a horse, that would have been a precursor to Gaim.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They didn't know the Kamen Rider rides bikes, not horses.
Yeah, so for that, I can't give a score higher than 7 for this movie, and I really want to, but I can't. It's like not much really happens in the plot. It's a typical episode, just 7 minutes longer.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much where it would be. It's just a 7. That's it. Like, there's nothing special about it. There's not. I mean, it kills. Like I said, it kills half an hour. So
Yeah. Well, here we go. Let's go to the comments. Let's see what you guys have to say about it. For real, this movie was incredibly silly. I mean, the whole season was incredibly silly at many points.
that's the novelty of this show. I mean,
Yeah.
no one looks at. I mean, no, seriously. I mean, I ask people all the time, watching, like, whether it be like, any type of fandom, any type of Star Wars, Star Trek, like Kamen Rider, anything, go back to the original show, go back to the original where it all started, and you're telling me that movie was not silly. I mean, I had that conversation with someone who was a big Star Wars fan. I'm like, bro, even Mark Hamill himself said that this movie was kind of goofy. He even gave the script out to his friends and they laughed about it. They're like, you're not really making this movie, are you? That's stupid. Little did they know.
Yeah.
The same thing here with the Kamen Rider. It's like, yeah, well, I'm a big fan of Gaim. And I'm like, yeah, well, Gaim had its own problems. I'll tell you that. But
yeah, like the inexplicable football episode.
Yeah, I'm like, like, oh, well, because I've had some people reach out and they're like, you're almost done. I'm like, yeah, but then we got to go to another Kamen Rider, which, depending on which one that is, we're either going to get a more of the silliness of, like, the Showa era or the silliness of the Heisei era, or phase 2, where it's all about the toys and the gimmicks. There's really no. Kamen Rider in general is a very silly show because, even though, yes,
to quote a little kid who's probably an adult by now, go Kaijus for kids.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things that's just, you can comment and yeah, absolutely, but you can't be like, oh, well, it's a serious work of art because of a certain part of a show. I'm like, yeah, I know. We started getting a little bit more darker with Gaim and Drive and X8 and all that stuff, but you can't be like, well, look at them, look at it in general.
Yeah, keep in mind, it's like, yes, Bloodstark destroyed an entire planet in an instant on a whim, but like not 5 minutes apart from that scene, you got freaking Cosme going,
yeah. So, I mean, yeah, the movie is goofy. It's but I could say that with a lot of shows that I liked and a lot of shows that I enjoyed, I'm like, no, well, that was kind of,
yeah.
I mean, for Christ's sake, look at the Star Wars prequels. For years, people shit on those movies. And then
everyone loves the memes,
and then now we have the Disney one, which I'm like, no one likes. So, I mean, regardless, it's like, but then you look back at the original movies and you're just kind of like, you know what? Luck was definitely on their side. I could have seen Star Wars or even Star Trek, the original Star Trek, failing. I could see it failing. Not because I'm being an asshole, but because I'm like,
well, the original Star Trek almost did, because the pilot was originally on NBC, which focused on Christopher Pike, but then it was like retooled for CBS with James Kirk.
Well, the thing is that, again, I could see, take any of your favorite franchise. Hell, take anything that's popular right now, Marvel, DC, whatever. I could see this failing because why? If it wasn't for somebody actually giving a damn about what they were doing, because that's the thing that I have read and I've seen coming with Ishinomori Sensei, even the people from Toei, even people in America. that they were like, I want to make this happen. And they did. And look what happened. Because there's so many projects that happen, and it's like, well, that was a thing. But has it gone on for 70 some odd years? Has it kept on going? Oh, no, well, that's true. That is very true. It's still within the zeitgeist of people. So, yes, this movie is silly. It's goofy. We could play that Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode, you know? But at the end of it all, it killed half an hour. Isn't that what we want?
Absolutely. Certainly what I want. But yeah, next comment. Monologuing. Any villain's greatest weakness?
It's anybody's weakness. I mean, you give them diarrhea of the mouth. Just like in this podcast.
Oh, yeah. How many times have we had the opportunity to like knock out like 7 episodes? Not 4, not 5, not 6. 7 episodes. And we could easily have knocked them out in half an hour. But somehow it just ran for 2 hours. Yeah, I mean, our One Piece review was almost 3 hours, but that's because we were reviewing 8 hour-long episodes of a show, and it was our first time doing something like that. But it was fun, though. I can't wait for season 2. Yeah, it's cool that we have horseback combat in this movie. Absolutely.
That was probably the only highlight, but I wish that they used it a little bit more.
Yeah. You got this, guys. Just 19 more episodes and 1 more movie. Thank you for cheering on us. Although technically 29 episodes, depending on how you watch this. Yeah, but that's true. It's like, if you're watching this in playlist view, please enjoy our discussions of episodes 70 through 74 and then 75 through 79 for us to complete the arc. But for those of you who watched this with us live and didn't use the playlist view, hello, we're almost done. Just 19 more episodes in the movie. 80 through 98, you know, and we're going to knock out 6 of those 19 episodes in one go next week. So here we go. Yes, and then once we're done with those, we're going to do the Kamen Rider, the movie thing, which will also be playlisted with Ghost once we get to it. You know what would be really funny? When we do the Wheel of Destiny at the end of Kamen Rider Ichigo, the movie, and the season we land on is Ghost. Because if that were the case, imagine how silly it would be when someone's watching us do Kamen Rider Ghost, and then we get to this movie, and then we spin the wheel. It's like, they're spinning the wheel awfully early. Like, what's going on? And then all of a sudden it lands on Ghost. It's like, wait a minute. I'm already watching Ghost. What's going on here?
Oh, I am just ready for a change, honestly.
Yeah. Again, like the singular reason why I look forward to doing Amazon is because it's only 24 episodes. We can knock it out in 6 weeks. Because we definitely have enough time left in the year for one more season in its entirety. Will we have time for a second one? Who knows? But this season is twice as long as most other seasons, so you can understand why this year, by the numbers, we're doing fewer. We might be doing fewer seasons, but by the episodes, no, we're pacing ourselves as best as we can. Honestly, I'm surprised how much progress we made with Ultraman, because we only have 8 more episodes of Ultraman to do. And 4 of them will be tonight at the time of this recording. But yes, thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Ding the bell icon. Stay notified for our latest videos. We do Ultraman Z on Mondays, which is tonight. At the time of this recording, we're going to do episodes 18 through 21. Wednesdays, we do Kamen Rider Gavu. Thursdays, number one Sentai Go Juger, and on Sundays, Kamen Rider Classic, which we are finally almost done with. Thank you so much. And also check out our various interviews because we've done Power Morphicon, Pasadena Comic Con, Robo Toy Fest, and between that and our sister channel, The Buttery Show, where we do various movie reviews and episode discussions, we have 32 interviews left to edit and upload, so please enjoy. Our most recent interviews that we just uploaded are none other than Princess Shayla from Power Rangers Wild Force and Campbell Cooley from literally every Neo Saban season and Hasbro season to have ever exist. So have fun with that. Oh, and he played Alpha in Operation Overdrive. So there's that as well. Yeah, I think the next one we're gonna upload might be from Dino Charge. Don't quote me on that. And yes, this guy had his debut as an interviewer recently, so give him a round of applause. We're gonna upload his 3 interviews on Buttery Show hopefully soon. We will talk to our editor about that. But yeah, lots of content. And on the side of the Buttery Show, we got Gundam G-Quox to discuss, as well as the Karate Kid franchise in honor of Karate Kid Legends. We already reviewed parts 1 and 2 of Karate Kid. We will do part 3 this Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Please enjoy. And we hope you guys had fun at Robo Toy Fest, Pasadena Comic Con, and Ranger Stop and Pop. If you want to say hi to our friend Jake, he will be at G Fest in Chicago, Illinois at the Hyatt Hotel on the 11th through the 13th of July. Please be sure to stick around to that. Our next in-person convention is going to be ToonCon, which is September 7th. We hope to see you guys then and there. And yeah, I don't think there's much left to discuss. Where can the people find you?
Just on IG. Thank you, everyone.
And you could also find me on IG and the address down below. Thank you guys so much. We love you guys. Stay safe, stay hydrated until your emergency gets hug your loved ones. It's really hot out here. So make sure you keep it cool. We love you guys. See ya.
Bye, guys.